Yeah, hello, my name is Maximilian Aue and I'm a PhD student in the group of Professor Hiold from ETH Zurich, and I'm working on a novel CNT strain sensor for respiratory activity monitoring with low mechanical cross-sensitivity. And I think many of us know the feeling of so-called breathlessness. And this feeling can not only be caused by swallowing things, but it's also often the result of diseases of the lungs, such as asthma or inflammation of the lungs that can be caused, for instance, by the coronavirus. The feeling of breathlessness then consequently arises from the fact that the body cannot be supplied with with sufficient oxygen, and so the inhalation volume per breath is reduced. And in order to that, to compensate this, the lack of oxygen supply in principle, the body reacts by increasing the respiration rate. Since it's now evident that the respiration frequency as well as the respiratory volume are directly influenced by the condition of the lungs, it is possible to obtain indications of the complete functionality of the lungs by measuring these parameters, as you see here also in this picture. Nowadays, a disease of the lungs is diagnosed by performing a pulmonary function test. Various methods are used for this purpose, such as spirometry, peak flow measurements, or also the blood gas analysis. A disadvantage that all these procedures have in common is that for the collection of the data, the patients must be examined in the clinical environment by healthcare professionals. And this also requires a considerable amount of time on both sides. And for this reason, current research is looking into the use of wearable devices that can measure these physiological parameters. And for example, the advantage are especially in the area, of course, of handling and saving time. Most wearable sensors, when it comes to measuring respiratory activity, rely either on the principle of measuring the change in the resistance or the capacitance. To date, a number of these different material combinations have been investigated. However, these sensors have some drawbacks, especially in terms of motion artifacts, accuracy, and hysteresis, though early detection of inflammation processes via the sensor signals are not possible. In this DIGIPREDICT project, it aims to develop a strain sensor that combines both an increased sensitivity with a high gauge factor and reduced motion artifacts, which increases the ability of early disease detection. And this innovation, which is developed from the ETH and my research, is a transistor-like structure in a 3-electrode configuration with a source, gate, and drain, which has a modified current voltage characteristic due to the stretching of the skin during the respiration. This correlation allows then a real-time monitoring of respiratory activity in a patient. For this purpose, CNTs as functional nanomaterials are used, which exhibit extraordinary strain sensitivity. Furthermore, the advantage of the CNTs are its high yield strain, as well as the ability to ultra miniature the size, and this also reduces then potentially the motion artifacts. Thank you for your attention, and I'm pleased to present you my poster.